So let's have another example in sequential programming. Pepperoni plus Pizza House charges 10% service charge and 5% sales tax on the gross bill of the customer. So in that particular sentence, there's already a variable that has a constant value, which is the 10% and 5%. So please take note that we cannot use the 10% with a percent sign. So instead, we're going to convert it into a numeric format, which is 10% becomes 0.10 and 5% becomes 0.05. So that is for the service charge and for the sales tax. Then we're going to create a program. So instead of a flowchart and a pseudocode. So this is the example from the previous module, which is module 1. We're going to create a program that would input the gross bill of the customer and the amount given by the customer to the waiter. Then we're going to output the customer's total bill and change if there's any. So in this case, we need to analyze again the program. So what should be the input variable, and what should be the process value, and what should be the output variable. So here, for the input, there is already a constant value, which is service charge and sales tax. So let's name them as S charge, and the other one is S tax. Then they have a value of, this one is 10%, so this becomes 0.10, and sales tax is 0.05. So we can actually use a constant keyword or a const keyword to assign the value so that it will not change during the execution of the program. Okay, and then we need to also have the gross bill of the customer. So let's make it G bill. And then we're going to compute for the total bill and change if any. So for the output, we have the T bill for the total bill and the change if any. So how are we going to compute again for the T bill? So again, for the T bill, so we need to input the gross bill of the customer, including, in addition to the gross bill, will be the sales tax and the service charge. So in this case, I'm going to compute for the gross bill. In addition to that, there will be the service charge of 10%. And in addition to that, there will be a service or a sales tax from the gross bill. So here, I'm going to use G bill times the service charge, S charge, or you can actually directly use the 0.10. Then this one, G bill times S tax. So instead of using the S tax, you may also use the 0.05. Then for the change, it's very easy. Change is the amount given by the customer to the waiter, and this will include also in our input variable amount minus T bill. So the total bill, so for example, if the total bill is 700 and the amount given by the customer is 1,000, so there is a change of 300. Now, how are we going to plot it in C++ programming? So again, we have the IO stream header file and the IO manip header file, or the preprocessor directives, input output streaming, and input output manipulation. So for the IO stream, we use this for the in and the cout. IO manip, if in case that we're going to make use again of the set precision by setting the decimal places of the value, since this is a currency. So we're going to make use of the keyword set precision and the fixed keyword. So here in the declaration statement, we're going to declare the variables, including the constant values with 10% and 5%. So let's start it with the declaration of the variable. So again, let's make it double since we're talking about values in currency or getting the bill. Okay, so first is the G bill, and then we have the T bill, and then we have the change, and then we have the amount. The next is the S charge and the S tax will not be the same as this one, since we need to make it as a constant. So I'm going to use the word const, and then I'm going to use the word double. Okay, and then I'm going to assign the S tax equivalent to 0.05, then another const double for the S charge, which is equivalent to 0.1. So that's all the declaration. So we have to move on to the executable statement. So input first. So in input, we're going to ask the user to input the gross bill of the customer. Okay, so see out, enter your gross bill. And since our currency is Philippine peso, I'm going to put PHP. Then see in, I'm going to make use of the G bill. Okay. After getting the gross bill, we can now compute for the total bill first before the change. Okay, so T bill equals to G bill plus, then I'm going to use G bill again times S charge. The value of S charge is 0.1 plus we have a G bill times the S tax, which is a value of 0.05. Okay, so that's the total bill. And you can already display the total bill before getting the amount to the customer. So see out your total bill is, again, we have PHP, and then we have the T bill and NL, semicolon. Then again, please take note that this is a currency. So I'm going to use again the word fix and the set precision. Then put a value of 2 in the parameter, so that makes 2 decimal places in the total bill. Once we know already the total bill, we can ask the user to input now and enter the amount to be given to the customer. So see out, enter, let's say tendered amount. And we have PHP, see in, so that is the word amount. So let's check if that is the exact variable. Yes, that's amount. And then make sure that assuming that this is just sequential, so let's assume that the amount is greater than the total bill. So once we input already the amount tendered by the customer, so we can now perform and process the change. So change becomes amount minus the total bill. Then you can already display your change is PHP, and then we have the change, and then NL again. So here, there's no need for you to set again the syntax fix and set precision, since on top of this, the rest of the output will apply the 2 decimal places. Okay, so again, let's execute the code, compile and run. Then let's ask the user to input the gross bill. For example, the gross bill is 500. So if that is 500, let's have the calculator. So if that is 500, my gross bill, and I include a 5% service charge and 10% 10% service charge and 5% sales tax. So that's like 1.15. So it should be 575. Okay, so the total bill should be 575. So 15% is the combination of the sales charge and the sales tax. So in this case, once I press the enter key, it should display 575 with 2 decimal places. And then you're going to ask the user or the customer for the tendered amount. So let's say, for example, I input 1,000 pesos. Okay, so once you press the enter key, it should display the change to 425 with 2 decimal places. So that's the sample output when we execute this particular example. Okay.